So I like the sentiment. I was really thinking it over, and I can't work it out for a couple of big reasons. One, security. I mean, if everybody were on this public thing, it would be taking incoming hack attempts left and right. We saw how the government did with healthcare.gov. I'm not sure they could handle it. And then the other thing is just keeping up with security, keeping up with just the tech that you need to evolve at the next level, and content moderation. I mean, there's going to be all sorts of beheadings, child pornography that people try to post to this stuff. If you're public, how can you afford to moderate that?
All great questions. I think the biggest way I try to solve that problem is by making it very local. So the idea is that basically you are accountable and part of a local public network, like your library or your school or something like that. Remember, Facebook started as a very accountable local thing. And that means you can only be there if you're an actual physical member of that community. And so that means to me that helps provide a lot of, how many people who you see on Twitter are really not actually people on Twitter? They're somewhere in Ukraine, or there's somebody, they're not actually people, members of the community. So, and it would cut down on fake accounts. It would cut down on the access points to that. Security is an issue, of course. It's an issue for everybody, and it's something that, again, you hope to solve at the local level, as opposed to making this big, massive network that requires a lot of, money and effort to maintain.
Have you had any kind of conversation about this idea with lawmakers or officials?
No. I'd love to. I think that from that point of view, again, it's a public good in the same way that a public library is, a public water fountain is, and so the idea is that you make people accountable, and that therefore, obviously, you don't want to make it a surveillance thing for people, but lawmakers who make lawful requests should be able to get anything out of there like they do from any other private organization.
I guess it also raises a question, what should be public and what should be private? I mean, when we talk about privatizing certain things, it makes me nervous. People, privatizing militaries or police forces, et cetera. But then when we talk about making certain things public, I get nervous too because of worries about, is it going to be run in an efficient way? What's the incentive to actually do things right? What are the penalties if security has holes?
Right.
To what degree, what's the principle, you think, in technology and platforms, and what should be public?
Well, I think the main principle is this idea that, first of all, this is not a call to say that we should not have Facebook, Twitter, anything else. I think those things exist just like, CNBC exists in the same media space that PBS does. The idea is more that there should be, kind of alternatives to that platform, alternatives that exist outside the kind of business models of the current platforms, because I think that helps both sides. I mean, markets are helped when they're given little boosts sometimes, and things like, opportunity zones help draw investment to a certain place or things like that. So the idea is really just I see kind of a market failure a little bit in some of these platforms, and the idea is to kind of help guide that in ways other than just simply breaking up large companies.